Hey guys, welcome back. Today, I'm waiting on parts for the Cub Cadet for that carburetor in the last video. So, I'm jumping back to the Loboy. That's a great thing about having multiple projects going at the same time. And the big thing that's holding me up is this steering wheel. I've mentioned it before, I think. The previous owner put a GMC steering wheel on here that is obviously meant to be inside of a vehicle and not rained on. This one was constantly rained on, full of water in here. It's rusted, and the big nut holding it on is basically just, it's all rusted together. I've tried everything I can without damaging it to get it off, and I don't see any other way. Now, if you know anything about these Cub Loboys, probably one of the biggest complaints or you hear people talk about is the slop in the steering box. Now, this one is actually quite good. It's got a little bit of plate, you see it down there from the bolts are missing for that cross member, and then just those joints have a little bit of slop in them, but the box is good. There's no slop in this steering box. So that really sucks that that's like that. Now, I have the parts tractor outside. We'll go look at it, but it essentially on it, you'd have to turn this about 2 turns before you'd start to get any movement down here. So it's really bad. Let's go look at it. The good thing is this piece is all good. So what I'm thinking is I can take this and put into that other box. I was trying to get this off of here, and I haven't quite figured out how to do it yet, because I think somebody has, I don't know, apparently this was maybe a common break point on these, because somebody's done some welding. I believe this bracket right here, it kind of bolts to the frame over there, had a bunch of washers in it. It's almost like that was added later. I don't know. But look at the welding on it. It just doesn't look like factory. And basically, with that on there, it makes it impossible to get this out. I don't know if you're supposed to get that out of there. So I'm trying to figure that out, and of course that didn't seem right to me, so let's go back and look at this one. I wanted to see if this one kind of looked similar. It's like, is that how they really did them? And look at this one. That's even worse. Somebody's coming here, and man, there's like booger welds all over the top of that. Looks like they've welded in some additional stuff along the back. I see that same bracket going to the other side of the frame, but I don't know. I don't know what. I'm just about to pull the grinder out. I don't know. I thought about just taking it off right here, not under the wheel, sawing it off, or just grinding this off. Either way, it's gonna screw up that shaft. I don't see any way to avoid it. So I feel pretty good that's exactly what it was originally. This piece probably just bolted, but this looks like this is broken right there. And you can tell on the other one, like when you turn on this flexes a lot, even though that one appears to have the same kind of crude fix on it. But basically, I had to take the grinder with the cutoff wheel on it and get after that weld right there, and then I was able to drop that out of there. But with that welded, see how the bottom half of that's open? That welded on there, you can't get that out of there without removing those welds. So there you go, got it out. See here, there's more weld there. This is not stuck to the other bracket that is factory welded onto the frame. This thing will drop right out. I don't think this was intended to be welded to that other bracket. I think people just did that to strengthen that. I can tell. I think I showed you that I don't know if it's just a factory cut in that bracket or if it's broken. But the front part of that bracket, I mean, you can take it by hand and bend it back and forth. So I see why people may have tried to join those two together by welding it. It looks like it was probably a common problem. So I've got this two different tractors. So that's two different tractors. The one outside is, I believe, a 1969. This one is a 1970. And they both have their steering box brackets just kind of hacked on here. So how much slop is in that? You can see on this one, that's what I resorted to. Basically just, there's nothing I could do to save that. It was already damaged, probably wasn't any good anyway. So hopefully what I plan on doing is taking this shaft out and using that one. This box is, it's not quite as grimy. Doesn't have the slop in it. Now I know there's adjustment in those that you guys see the new Scout reveal today. This one right here, I'll show you this. This is my 79 International Scout. I rebuilt the engine on this. I've got a lot of video of doing it. I just never put it together and shared it, which I probably should. But this is what a Tahitian red Scout looked like in the original days. I'm going to get this off of here. I need to get this thing down to the frame so that we can deal with the steering. And we're going to get this thing all cleaned up. This bolster is actually pretty good, whereas on the parts tractor, it was real bad. This was not bad. I want to be able to get in here and inspect this frame better too. These frames are notorious for cracking in these bends, and so we make sure that's good. I don't know what's going on with the steering. Talked about that in the video I took yesterday, so we'll have to get there and see what's up with that. If we can even get that box out of there without having to get the cutoff wheel out like we did for the other one. And then we want to get back here, get this off. I've got a good set of fenders outside or under the porch that we'll use. These weren't terrible, but on this side they're rusted. Taking the 4 screws out of this to hold this down. Basically, what we're going to contend with now is some wires. And we're going to give them 2 inches of pipe. Not really worried about what this wiring currently looks like because I'll rewire the whole thing. Got schematics to do it. There's the inside of that. It's not in too bad a shape. Some corrosion on those things. the screws come through on. But other than that, it's not bad. I want to show you guys this before I pull this off. This thing's really must have had some kind of steering problem. Not only is that, do I see modifications down at the steering box like I saw on the other tractor. Look at this one. They even had this. It's broken. Looks like they burned through, or it just broke. I don't know. But it didn't hold up. But they welded this piece in. Welded this piece in right here, and welded some big nuts to it and into the steering column, and it just broke that shaft. That wasn't any good anyway. So, goodness, it's kind of got me nervous what the deal is with the steering on these. But if you've got one of these or encountered this, what's up? What's going on with the steering on these things? Battery cable from the back. So just back here, I'm just going to take the PTO off so I can get these. This is the kind of center piece that holds the fender's bolt to. You can tell, and this guy had a welder, obviously. Some more weld jobs that broke off. You rigged up a new one here. Anyway, I just want to show you guys that. I'm going to pull this off here. So. I had bolts on this side that's trying to strip. Of course, this is the one that's the most difficult to get to, so I just took the tire off. Allowed me access to it. Put some heat on it, and got it to break free. Alright, here we go after cleanup. Did a pretty good job. This is something to me, I look for. It's when this stuff gets on basically bare paint, once you get all the grease and stuff off. Will it take the paint off too? Usually when I use this stuff, That's what I'm looking for. I'm looking to get everything off that I can. So if it takes paint off, that's fine. You just have to keep that in mind if you're using something like this, that it is going to take paint off, potentially. But looks good. I couldn't really get down in here in this stuff with the drive shaft still in place, so some of this stuck on stuff here, it couldn't quite get in 2 coats. That would probably have to hit with the wire wheel, get that off. Well, now I'm afraid this thing's going to rust without having a without having the oily film on it to protect it. But much cleaner now. Thank you to Super Clean for sending me their products to try out. I'll use this on the engine because I still got to do that. Taking on a big project like that whole tractor frame, the aerosol can was handy. As you can see in the video, the first time I went around, I really soaked the thing with this, and then I did a second coat and did a few accessories on the side too. So it definitely goes a lot further than the other stuff I use. I'll have to look up prices to see, because I think to me that's what it would come down to. I think it worked just as good as what I typically use. Does it, cost-wise, where does it come out? Because money to me is a big thing. I definitely like the aerosol, because my finger's tired already. Hose it off from the first coat. Did a really good job. Of course, this wasn't too bad overall, but it did a really good job. Also, I need to mention, you want to be careful putting this stuff on aluminum, because it is corrosive and a little bit too harsh for most aluminum. Things. I don't really care if I get water in the engine on this. I'm taking it right back inside and tearing it apart. This coat will take more of the paint off. All cleaned up. Took it all back apart. Dried everything up. So just kind of ready for final cleaning and assembly. Alright, that's going to do it for this one. If you're interested in the Loboy, be sure to subscribe, follow along. We'll have more content on the Cub Cadet coming soon, just waiting on parts, and just whatever else we can dig up from Marketplace. Thanks for watching.